Monday, January 29th. Hope you all had a great weekend. Quick recap on our 5-man yesterday. It went down to a 4. We had one push, but we did cash. We went 3 of 4. So that's 2 days in a row on our 5-man. We had a perfect 5 for 5 on Saturday. We restarted the day 1 ladder day challenge. I did just put this in early. I had D'Angelo Russell and Colin Sexton over points and assists. So those are my top 2 for today, which brings me to the 5-man. And fantasy scores was just posted half an hour ago. And my first 2 will be my day 1 ladder day challenge, but I'm going to be taking their fantasy scores. First one will be Russell. And he is at 32.5. He's been averaging low 40s. So I'm going to be taking his 32.5 along with Colin Sexton's fantasy score, which is at 33, I believe. 33.5. I'll be taking the over on that. And those are my top 2 for this 5-man. Which brings me to my third, and it's going to be John Collins. And I'm going to be taking his fantasy score as well. As you can see, John Collins' points is a popular pick. But I'm going to be sticking to his fantasy score at 26.5. He's been averaging mid-30s. So I'm going to be sticking with him. My fourth one I'm going to take is Jared Allen. And he's also a popular pick, but most of the public is taking his rebounds or his rebounds and assists, which are not bad. But I'm going to be taking his fantasy score because it's at 38. About a week or 2, he was at 40, 41. He is down to 38. I mean, he has a ceiling of 50. Should be a competitive game against the Clippers. I believe the Clippers do not have Zubac, so Jared Allen should get a double-double. Should have plenty, 15, 16 rebounds in that game. So I'll be taking the more on his fantasy. He's been averaging close to 20 points as well. And my last one I'm going to go with is Paul George. I know there's more props that are better for this than Paul George. But I think Paul George is going to bounce back. His fantasy score is probably the lowest I've seen it in a while. So I'm going to be going with him for his fantasy score at 30.5. I mean, if he has a big game, he can get that on points alone. But as you can see, his points has gone down as well at 19. I'm going to be taking his fantasy score at 30.5. He does get a bunch of assists and rebounds. Like I mentioned, it's going to be a competitive game against the Cavaliers. So I'm going to be taking Paul George fantasy score. If you don't want to take him, you can take James Harden instead. I believe he's still at 39. Or a good option is Kawhi Leonard as well. But I'm going to be taking Paul George. I think he's going to bounce back. At 30.5, that's too low. Probably the lowest I've seen for him for his fantasy score. These are my top 5. It's a big slate, so I have multiple slips, but these are my strongest 5. D'Angelo Russell, he has multiple props that are good. Points, rebounds, assists, fantasy, points and assists. Colin Sexton over fantasy, John Collins, Jared Allen, and Paul George rounds out my top 5. So mix and match, pick your favorite. Plenty of games to choose from today. Make sure you mix in some goblins in there to guarantee some of the slips to hit, to build a bankroll. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Appreciate the support. Let's close out the month on a hot streak, and I'll see you guys in the next one.